And good evening, and welcome to Chad Miller Auto Care. My name is
Your name is Chad Miller.
I am, but no, to Car Chat Lab. I just had something that popped up.
Oh, you have to ignore some of those things.
I know.
We're live. We don't have time to just look at that. People are expecting excellence.
I know. So you are listening to Car Chat with Chad and Tony from Chad Miller Auto Care here in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm kind of off the screen too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could move your whole body. That's how easy this is.
This is.
This is not rocket surgery.
No, it's not. No. All right, let's see here. See if I can figure this out. A little lost already tonight.
It's a little late to be figuring stuff out.
No, it's not.
Is.
It is. I don't know if we're broadcasting. Oh, we are broadcasting
See?
live. There we go. And we have one view already. So
My thing said we were broadcasting.
yours does say we're
The
broadcasting.
thing said we were doing things.
Oh, that's good. Yours is, because mine is a little off kilter. So, all right. So you are listening to Car Chat, and we are going to be taking all of your automotive questions here. You can reach us at service@cmautocare.com. Tweet us at Chad Miller Auto. Skype us at cmauto6011. Or
Or what?
call us on the hotline at 731 Car Chat.
Well, you skipped the whole thing that we're actually on Facebook and they can type in stuff
Oh.
on Facebook. I mean, that's like the most direct contact they have with us.
Well, that's true. And you could get online and type us some comments. So, yes, so we can get all your information and ask everything and answer all your questions. So,
Good evening, sir.
So,
See
if
if
anybody's
anybody's-
here we go. Look at that. And ask everything.
Don't do that.
I did it last week too.
Why?
I don't know why.
You're already determined that we were actually on air.
Oh, I know, but this is the way I can see when people put comments.
I love you, man.
I know. So hey, we're twins. We're Twinkies today.
Hey, Daytona 500 was today.
You know what? And watch this.
Greatest race. Well, let's just go there. I think we should go.
You think we should go there? I don't know.
I think it would have been awesome if we could have actually gone there.
I would have loved to have been
Instead
there.
of,
I've been
you
to
know.
Daytona a couple times. I've never been to the Daytona 500. And there we are.
But we're there.
No, not yet. We're not there yet.
No, I'm there.
No, we need to be there. That would have been fun to go to.
See, there's my giant head right on the Daytona A.
No, they don't see it yet because I haven't switched over.
Well, I see it.
Oh.
If I see it, then I think they should see it.
Oh, Stacy Blair is live with us. Welcome in.
Stacey, do you see us in Daytona?
No, she doesn't see us in Daytona yet because I haven't made us go to Daytona
Well,
yet. That's the problem. See, I'm going to make us go to Daytona. We are now live from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Not according to your phone.
No, well, not yet. It's gonna get there. But
So I don't know. Do I trust your phone? Do I trust these two giant monitors in front of me?
we're about
Do I trust the psychic severed arm?
we're about a minute behind.
Okay.
It'll get there.
So
Stacy says no right now,
the
but
drive time to Daytona will be approximately 45 seconds.
there we are. See, now we're in Daytona. It's a little, you can see the clouds coming in overhead.
Slightly overcast.
Slightly overcast with the over 100,000 fans in the stands.
That paid probably some crazy number of dollars
I
for each ticket.
I forgot that this was the Daytona 500 week.
I didn't get to watch it. Did Dale Earnhardt?
He crashed.
He crashed.
He crashed. Kyle Busch won, but Dale Earnhardt did say that he was fine and everything is great.
How can it be great if you crashed and you didn't
I don't
win?
know.
I'm just curious.
I don't know. So, but
we overuse that word great.
right. So Stacy is joining us from San Antonio. She works with Allison Brooke.
Myler.
Myler. We're going to call her Myler. She's probably not listening in the other room.
That's okay.
She's taking care of the boy. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we talked last week that we might touch on some certified pre-owned cars because we have told people that is a good way to purchase. But there's actually been some fraud on the rise, apparently, where car companies will not do their complete inspection, or if it comes in and it's low mileage and late model, they'll just certify it immediately without even looking at it. And oddly, this might sound vaguely familiar to you. A few of the cases where they just decided to certify the car without looking at it, the vehicles actually had frame damage, which sounds like you're okay because you have a certified warranty and they shouldn't necessarily have to look at it. But a lot of those certified warranties do not cover any kind of body repair or frame damage to the vehicle. So if you buy that vehicle and you don't have it looked at, and even if you do have it looked at, sometimes that type of damage you're not gonna be able to see, and that's supposed to be part of that whole certification inspection, which again I can tell you is not always the case because I didn't realize that they were supposed to verify the actual structure, the actual frame structure of the vehicle in order to get the FTA to allow them to certify it.
I didn't either. I didn't realize that was part
I did
of the.
not, but they're supposed to disclose all of that if there was any kind of repair like that done, which because you purchased a vehicle at one point. That nothing showed up on the Carfax, and nothing showed up on the inspection that was done by the dealership, and I guess they weren't going through their complete inspection when they sold this vehicle. And so there's been, since there's the couple of the articles that I saw, since 2010, the rise of this type of what they're calling fraud, whatever you want to call it, has steadily grown. And, some of it could be like at any shop if you take your vehicle to be looked over. Maybe the technician doing the inspection. And that's where the issue is. But anyway, something to be on the lookout if you're looking at cars and if you look at certified cars. One of the dealerships I worked for, when we went through the certification, there was an actual form, there was an actual sheet where they went through the whole inspection and the technician had to sign it and all of that. Maybe worthwhile to ask for that, to see that certification process and make sure that that was actually done, so that you don't run into something in that 7-year, most of them are 7 years, 100,000 miles is their coverage for their certification. But you may run into a situation where there's something they decline coverage of because of a poor inspection done on the front end.
Right. Hey, we got James McCulley from, I believe he's in Florida. He joined us, so he's probably used to that Daytona sign.
Popular in Florida and
San Antonio and Iowa. Angie Twilliger, George, it's Angie Twilliger, George.
Okay.
Is joining us too. She comes in, I believe, from the snowy Midwest. So thank you all for coming. If you have any car or automotive questions, any comments, just go ahead and type those in. You can also email us at service@cmautocare.com. Hit us up on the hotline at 731-CAR-CHAT. Skype us if you want to have your face on.
And you do.
Or tweet us, which is funny because we're watching Moana. Jay Tubbs, also from Gilmore City, Iowa. Welcome in, Jay. We're watching Moana, and they talked about Maui talked about using hey as a tweeter. Anyway, if you've seen Moana, you know.
Have not. But I'm thinking, with all the popularity we have in Florida, maybe we need to consider opening a satellite shop in Florida.
Allison Brooke, who joins us, would be very happy to say that.
And I will be happy to go run it on Daytona Beach for you.
I think you'll have to fight Allie for that.
That's not a problem.
So
she's a lot shorter than me.
I know, but no, I did. But Tony did mention a few years ago. We bought a small little SUV. Thought it was great. Family expanded a little bit, and needed a different vehicle. Went to trade it in, and found out it had frame damage, and they didn't want to give us the value of it. And we fought for that.
But it was weird in that one because, and that's why we tell you to have these cars checked out, because one report showed something about it, and the other one showed nothing.
Right. The Carfax showed 0. Auto Check, which is another service that went ahead and showed that it was did have some frame damage, and we had no idea.
And most of the reason we bring this up is because that certified warranty, whether you see it in the price of the car or not, ends up costing you a couple of $1,000s extra on the price of that vehicle. And when you have it checked out, then maybe you can look at a couple of different reports. Just because I'm constantly amazed by the price of cars in general and how much of an investment you have to make to buy a new car or even a slightly used car, which is generally our first recommendation because of the way depreciation seems to happen these days.
Right. Yeah, it's and kind of gets into when do you trade your car in? When do you get rid of your car? If you're driving a vehicle, wherever it may be, when's the best time to get rid of it? Or is there a good time to get rid of it?
I mean, you either have to be, to me, you either have to be on a cycle where you're trading in the car every 3 or 4 years, or you have to decide to keep them until they wear out. Just because it seems like the value of cars does not maintain the way it once did. I mean, when we bought our van, we looked at a new one, and then we found one just like it used that had right about 30,000 miles on it. And the difference in price in 30,000 miles was $12,000. Which, I mean, that's a huge hit for, granted it was 2 years old, but it really hadn't been used all that much in that time. So, I mean, that's, certified warranties don't really only come into play if you really are going to keep the vehicle long term, because right. It gives you 100,000 mile coverage, and I can tell you, on the upside of that certified piece is that there are things covered under the certified warranty that aren't necessarily covered under a factory warranty. There were a lot of interior components covered in those warranties that the factory warranty didn't necessarily cover. So that's it's something to think about when you're buying vehicles.
Now, for you and for me, if you're buying a used vehicle, are you buying an extended warranty on that certified vehicle?
If it's certified, no.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess unless you just have. I mean, here lately, I would have to say it depends on which dealership I bought it at. Because there are a few dealerships that we've had some personal experience with recently that I wouldn't buy a certified car from, because I know that I wouldn't want it in their repair facility. One experience wouldn't make me say that, but we've had a couple of dealerships that we've had multiple experiences, and that really starts to change your view of what they're doing there and right. how they're policing what they're doing in their shop. So I've always been a fan of extended warranties.
Right. Hey, World Pack Keith joins us.
Keith!
Well, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, and if not, I'm going to make sure I order the smallest part so you can deliver it. Just letting you know.
Just because we like your company.
That's right. Or I'll order a whole bunch of coolant.
He does like to do that.
And make him carry all the coolant in.
He gets his CrossFit done early.
That's right. At least we're glad he didn't break his leg when he went up to
or run into a tree.
Arena. Yeah.
Maybe he didn't ski.
He didn't.
Maybe that's why.
He just hung out by the fire.
Oh man.
He just hung out by the fire. Maybe snowmobiled a little bit. Didn't do any skiing. But yeah, so I mean, a extended warranty is not a bad thing. I get people, that say, who get mad at the end of their extended warranty and they never use it.
Well, but I mean that's the same for any insurance you purchase. You may not use it.
You hope not to use it. Realistically, think about it. How many people buy? You have auto insurance every single day. You have health insurance. You have whatever insurance. You don't want to.
And it would be really ideal if you just.
Do you really want to go to the hospital and say, you know what? I got to meet my deductible. I got to use all this money I spent in.
See, I'm wondering, can I just do like a lot of people do with their extended warranties, and well, I got, like another month left on this insurance policy. Let me go get a complete checkup, and you just, whatever you see that needs fixed, you just fix under my insurance.
Right. We had somebody this week.
See if doctors will do that for me.
Right. We had somebody this week that, hey, my extended warranty is going to end up in 24 miles. Can you go through it and see if you can get anything covered by the extended warranty?
Which we're not opposed to. That's
No.
fine.
No. If you have it, and we're not. If you have it, might as well try to use it and see what they'll do. And I was pleasantly surprised. They fixed some things that I would have never thought would be covered by extended warranty.
So are you road tripping for spring break?
No, I'm road tripping to the shop for spring break.
No, you're not going down? I mean, you don't have the whole beach thing going?
Nope, I do not. But most people, this year, maybe going. We could go. We could go from Daytona, Florida,
That doesn't look like any... Where is that?
We could go from Daytona, Florida to right there.
Where is right there? Do you know where right there is?
No, I don't, but I would love to be there.
Is everybody else there with us yet?
No one's there yet.
Anyway, we went to the beach by ourselves.
Yes. We're at the beach. Honey, Jane, everybody. We are, Tony and I are going to hang out at the beach this
There's
spring
no
break.
surf happening there.
No, you don't need surf. Just nice and quiet. Hey, Jane Shanklin's actually with us tonight, and she says she likes the beach. So I'm going to assume that you and I, Tony, are not going to the beach together.
I wouldn't leave my peeps, the rest of my peeps, and not take them to the beach. You know how many years of my life I would hear about that?
As many as I would. So, spring break is coming up, kind of leads us where we're, to our next little area. Spring break is coming up, I think, the second week of March here in San Antonio.
Is it the same for everyone? I don't know.
I don't know. I know it's the second week of I think it starts like the 13th or something like that. So, it's time to start thinking about getting your car ready for spring break.
Do you know why we don't know when spring break is?
Because we don't go on spring break?
Exactly. I think it's a trend we should change.
No. We take Christmas. We don't need spring break.
You can't go to the beach at Christmas. Well, okay.
You can go to the beach at Christmas. You go to
it's
Tahiti.
Not oh, my goodness. No.
Fiji. Hawaii. See, we can go.
Okay.
You want to go to the Texas beach?
Does Texas have a beach?
Might get in trouble. So, again, we're coming up, 2 weeks until people pack up their cars?
2 weeks.
What are things that, Tony, what are things that people need to look for? What do you need to do to get ready for your trips?
It's a lot of pressure that you just put on me,
Hey,
sir.
hey.
This is live radio.
This
What
is-
if I don't know?
This is live Facebook. You are on Facebook Live.
What if I don't know what they need to do?
Yeah, well, what would you do? If you were going on spring break,
I would drive my vehicle to the airport and get on a plane.
oh my God. Okay, for those who's just traveling down to the coast or traveling to wherever, what are some tips to help them out as far as...
Go to a nicer beach. Hey, my wife took me to West Palm Beach in January, and now Texas beaches are it's not the same for me anymore.
I've never been to... I lived in Virginia Beach for a while. I've never been to the Texas
it's not
beach.
the same.
Never been to the Texas beach, so I could not tell you.
I just want you to be in on this with me because you're making accusations towards me.
Hey, never been there. Don't know.
Okay.
Don't
well,
know.
let's go to Corpus.
Okay.
And then we can have this talk again.
All right. So when we're getting in our car and back on track, getting in our car and going to Corpus, what are things we need to do to get ready?
Well, I mean, there's. Okay, I should not say the obvious, but there are obvious things. The obvious thing that we've talked about before on this show, engine oil is not an option.
No.
We're going to reinforce that.
We're going to reinforce that. We had another one this week.
Because we're still seeing how some feel that oil is an optional fluid for your vehicle, which it's not. But definitely coolant. thankfully, at least in my opinion, thankfully we have tire pressure monitors which help remind us to look at our tires periodically. But beyond just tire pressure, um, it's really a good idea to have tire condition looked at. Um, and then obviously all of the fluids. But I would, when you go and you take your vehicle someplace for an oil change, make sure that they actually do an inspection every time you have your vehicle in there. Sometimes they can catch things that pop up that are that happen pretty quickly, just because you had it into service. I mean, we've had vehicles that we looked at and everything was fine, and 2 months later everything's not necessarily fine. But definitely all the fluids. You want to make sure your coolant condition is in good condition. If you haven't changed the coolant, or you don't know when you've changed the coolant, and it's been 75, 80, 90,000 miles, it's really time to have that serviced. And that's really one of the most important here in Texas, because we have so much heat.
Mm-hmm.
We deal with so much heat, and that's why transmission fluid and coolant are some things that you really want to have looked at as far as the condition go. South Texas, you want to make sure your AC is up and serviced. Not everyone does it, but at least once a year, I would recommend having the AC serviced and evacuate the system and get any air that's in the system out and recharge it. I mean, those are just some basic maintenance things. And then obviously, you'll catch, somebody will tell you if there's something else. We believe that somebody will tell you that there's something else that needs attention.
Now, if somebody's just using ABC Lube and Tune, or Lube Center, because I don't usually say
anybody's name,
they're just using ABC's Lube. We recommend that go ahead. I mean, use them. If you're getting your oil changed, you're at least a step in the right direction. But once a year, maybe seek out a full service repair center,
right?
So they can do a full inspection.
And then some things that we don't always think about. Some unfortunate things happen to people. They have a flat, and it does you no good to take out a spare that's also flat. So have somebody take a look at the spare. Make sure you have all your pieces for your jack, or if you have a truck, make sure you have the pieces to lower the spare down. Because we run into a lot of situations where they don't have all their tools still to get the spare tire down. And most of those tires are up underneath the vehicle. And without those tools, it's very, very difficult to get that spare down.
Well, and know where your spare tire is, too.
Right. Make sure you have one.
Because I know in our minivan, well, in the Toyota we had, my wife had no idea. I had no idea where the spare was.
It's in the center, right?
It's in the center.
The center, which I have no idea how you're supposed to get out when you're on the side of the road.
Well, and here's the thing. How are some of these ladies supposed to get that spare tire? If a lady...
that was very...
I don't mean to be sexist. I don't mean to be... But my wife is a very strong woman. She could not get that spare tire out of that car.
I don't know how you get under the vehicle to get the spare out.
No.
On those particular vehicles. I think that our van is the same way. And, it's not that high off the ground. So I guess you have to jack it up and then crawl under it and get the spare, which it's not a real safe situation.
No.
So yes, familiarize yourself with where things are. If you're traveling 3 or 4 hours, make sure you have some jumper cables. Make sure you have some basic tools. Make sure you have water in the vehicle.
Right.
Not just water to pour in the car, but water to pour in you.
Right, yeah.
In case you do have a flat or something and you're on the side of the road for a couple of hours. There's other things that I would recommend traveling with that I'm not sure I can talk about on Facebook Live.
Like what? I'd recommend an extra battery for your cell phone.
Yeah.
Food.
If you haven't read the Second Amendment, I would highly recommend reading the Second Amendment. And maybe some of those laws regarding the Second Amendment in Texas. If you haven't, I'm not telling you to do, I'm just telling you that it's important to study. the
amendments. There
Constitution
you
and
go.
the amendments to the Constitution, and no Texas travel laws. There are some travel laws that are very, very important to your personal safety. You know, I mean, your car is part of your house or what they call a domicile. So, a lot of things that are legal in your house are legal in your car, especially if you're traveling over multiple county lines. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I am just suggesting that it's important to be up to date on laws.
Right. Your wife agrees. Yeah, I don't know if you can talk about that.
I didn't talk about anything other than things that are legal and things that maybe are not legal.
Right.
And that sometimes you should do your own research.
Yep.
See? That was not.
It wasn't a political statement at all.
No, it was about the law.
That's right.
Which apparently sometimes can be a political statement because things that are legal, we don't always know what's legal or not.
No. So,
I think that's a helpful tip.
yep.
Did you see that somebody tagged the convenience store that's being built down there?
Oh my gosh, I did. I don't see. You're going to get me on some soapboxes. I don't know. We're going to get kicked off.
What kind of gang exists on the northwest side of San Antonio?
I know that goes around
I'm just
tagging
curious.
brand. Well, the unfortunate thing, they all the same weekend they tagged the new Valero corner store, whatever you want to call it,
Marketplace.
and then they also damaged like 19 windows in the brand new strip center right down from there.
Again, or is this still the first time?
Still the first time.
All right.
I don't know if they've done anything else, but I don't get it. I'll never get it. But
Sorry,
I know.
I drove by that today and it made me mad. So obviously I'm getting older because those things make me really, really mad.
They're irritating. I don't get the respect or lack thereof respect for other people's property.
You don't even know what it says. I mean, I would think if you were going to spray paint something,
It said Satan.
it said
What-
Satan.
When it was originally put on, it said when it was put on, you could see it. They've kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but it said Satan.
For real?
Yeah, I cannot tell. I cannot tell a lie.
Okay.
My nose is already big enough.
I didn't want to say anything.
Cannot tell another lie. So you're going to Corpus. You're going to Disney World. You're going wherever, and you're going to take your batteries, some water,
Some jumper cables.
some jumper cables.
And actually, the little jump packs that they sell these days, are like briefcase size jump packs that you can purchase, and then you don't have to you don't have to rely on someone stopping to help you. It's fully functional all by itself, and we have a small one that you could put under the front seat of your car, and they work great. The battery life is nice. Most of them will have a flashlight in them, which doesn't necessarily mean that it should be the only flashlight you have in your vehicle, but it also has charging ports in it where you can plug USB ports into it, and so you would have extra battery life for the devices that you have in your car, because you don't want to be. Hopefully you're not stuck on the side of the road. That would be the last thing we would want, but you want to be able to have communication if that is the case. You want to be able to, as much as possible, get your car back on the roads on your own without necessarily having to completely rely on somebody to stop and help you. Because they just, these days that doesn't seem to happen nearly as much as it used to.
Right. I got up on the screen a little bit. It's a little blurry because I didn't get the right picture, but that's kind of what Tony's talking about. That's an independent jump box.
Most of them are like $75 or $100, but it is a magnificent tool to have in your vehicle. It is super nice, just to make sure that you have the things to keep you safe on the road. So,
yeah, it's yeah. You're right. I don't understand. Kind of get into that neighbor helping people out. I don't understand why. I remember, I'm older. I'm a little older than you are, Small town Iowa.
Yeah, you are.
You have more gray hair.
It's wisdom.
It's wisdom. I'm getting it
I
here. I'm
achieved
getting it. But used to be able. Somebody stopped. Someone on the side of the road, broken down. You could stop and help them.
Right. And
Now I don't even know if I want to. I would love to be able to stop and help everybody. I don't even know who I'm stopping to help, so I'm a little nervous on that end as well.
well, right. There's been situations where it was a trap and it wasn't a real situation, and that's it's you have to be very cautious about those situations, and you have to be very cautious about somebody stopping to help you. Unfortunately, I mean it's very unfortunate, and we don't like it, and it's no fun to even talk about. But that's why we would suggest trying to be somewhat self-sufficient before you leave, and knowing where the things are in your car, and knowing where the jack is and how the jack works, and if the jack is even going to work if you have to pull over and gravel. Because some of these screw type jacks, I mean, I certainly wouldn't be under the vehicle, and
No.
that's where our talk about the spare and where the spare location is. It's hard to do. It's nearly impossible to do. But you almost want to take the spare out from underneath that and put it someplace where you can get to it. Just because it's such a difficult task on some of these vehicles to get to, and then some of the vehicles don't have a spare. They have like a really fancy fix-a-flat package in them.
Fords do that. Some of the Fords have started with that.
Pretty much, yeah. I think a lot of the Fords do that. Most all of the European imports do that now. I know Volvo went strictly to the fix-a-flat in the back of the vehicle that you have a one-time use. So, and it's kind of sometimes it's a little bit complicated on how to use, and you got to get it right. Otherwise you're stuck. So, just be aware of what you have going on, and if you have, if you're here and you're one of our customers and you're not sure about something, we would be happy to show you or learn with you. In a lot of cases, we do learn with you because we don't see it every day either.
That's right. Now, the family's traveling on a road trip. They break down. I mean, what do you do? You've had it looked at, or maybe you decided not to have it looked at, and you break down. What do you do? As far as safety-wise, let's say you're in a bad part of town, a seedy part of town. What do you do? Do you try to drive your vehicle on a flat tire to a safer place? Do you run it while it's overheating? I mean, we talk about safety.
You can't really run it while it's overheating. I mean, those are tough decisions, and those are kind of case by case things where it's hard to tell people exactly what to do. But in a lot of situations, you might want to call a tow service, or have towing through your insurance, even though it may not be the fastest thing to get to you. But there are those cases where you can't take care of things on the side of the road, and having either a AAA membership, which I don't even remember or know how much they cost these days, but AAA offers a lot of good services. And if you travel a lot, you drive a lot, it would certainly be something that's wise to look into. Otherwise, check with your insurance company and see what kind of coverage they have. A lot of companies, I know that Progressive and Geico have roadside assistance coverages and towing coverages. So, I mean, that would be my best advice as far as things to look at.
Right. Hey, John Hill joined us.
Hi, John Hill.
Hey, John Hill from San Antonio. Hopefully you and your dad are doing well.
Well, is it John Hill or is it John Hill?
It's John Hill Jr.,
Okay.
I believe.
It's John Hill, not John Hill.
Oh, my God. When is John Hill not John Hill? When it's his dad.
See? When there's another John Hill.
But no, AAA is not a bad thing to have. As Tony said, go through, your insurance company. That's nothing bad to have either. That way you can have a couple different outlets. I remember AAA when the Miller family got together and went on a trip. You had the AAA, routes, and we had flashcards basically.
What?
Yes, AAA used to do like route planning. This is before probably most of you on Facebook even knows what route planning is.
I don't know what
They
route
would
planning
do route
is.
planning. We would say we wanted to go to Denver, Colorado, and they would have like flip charts and 3-ring binders with highlighted maps.
Well, that's awesome.
It was great.
I want to make the fewest left turns. That kind of route. No?
Yeah, well, pretty
See?
much. Yeah.
All
And
right.
so you go to AAA like a week or two ahead and tell them where you want to go. They would plan out this trip for you. Pre GPS.
Do they still do that?
I highly doubt where they do that anymore.
That would be great because GPS, as far as I'm concerned, is not super reliable. I've had plenty of times where we're headed to the hotel and it takes us to someone's house, and I'm like, it's a nice house, but these people I don't think are expecting us. And I don't think they're going to let us stay here.
No.
So that's another thing. I don't completely depend on GPS. GPS has taken us through some parts of Dallas that I didn't want to drive through.
Hey, Jane Shanklin, who would be your better half, says that she thinks
Much better half.
better looking too. Says that she thinks that her parents still have those books.
I don't doubt it.
See, I know my parents do.
I didn't know that AAA even did anything like that.
Yeah.
That's a very, very cool service.
It was awesome, and they would plan it out in yellow or green and a couple
so y'all
different.
would all pile into your Vista Cruiser and
We piled into our Woody wagon.
a Woody.
Wasn't quite the Woody wagon. It was more of the. We've got a
Someone's
knock.
beckoning us.
Someone's knocking at the door.
So I'm happy doing our stuff, but how it's 10 after 8.
It is 10 after 8, and we
I
have
didn't know what we decided to do.
a visitor in. Who's just walking back.
Yeah, he's a silent visitor.
He's walking on the beach. He's enjoying the beach with us.
Well, we went to the beach. He wanted to go to the beach.
That's right.
He
He's
was
never
watching the movie about.
he's
water
never
and
been,
the
he's
beach.
never been to the beach, so here he is at the beach.
There he is.
There he is at the beach. So anyway, so we talk a little bit this week about doing the going on how to get ready for your trip. Maybe next week we'll continue our spring break series. And what music should we listen to when going on our trip? You're the music
Beach Boy.
aficionado.
I am not. No, I'm very good in one genre.
Oh, no.
But
Yes, Jane, someone crashed the beach. It was our 4-year-old.
the Beach Boys. I mean, you can only listen to the Beach Boys. Right?
Well, yes, if you're only going to the beach, but we got other spring break songs.
There's other spring break songs.
There are other great songs while driving. I Can't Drive at 55. Things that we're not going to be able to play on the radio.
You can drive 55. Most of these areas you could drive 75.
I drive 74.
Now you can't drive 55 because you're impeding traffic.
Well, that's true. That's true. So, we want to thank everybody for joining us today. Again, you have topics. You want to know a little bit about some recalls, some technical tips. You can go ahead and shoot us emails at service@cmautocare.com. You can tweet us at Chad Miller Auto, Skype us.
Why do you say tweet like you're a bird?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the true thing is. Twitter.
No, it's you're good. You know this better than I do.
I don't tweet.
You don't?
I don't tweet. I don't even know what tweeting is.
It's where you get to tell all about your life in 140 characters.
No, I don't. That's all right.
And that's how people determine who you are, is by random sentences. then they can make perfect judgment of what type of person that you are.
Yes, on 140 characters.
Exactly.
That's all we need.
Oh, and pictures.
That's true. So next week we'll pick up some conversations. We'll come with some new topics.
We look forward to your suggestions and any questions that you might have.
Yeah. If you have any questions during the week, you can even call us at the shop at 210-558-6661. As for Tony or Chad, we can help you out with those automotive questions you may have through the week.
Or come see our new orange wall because it's awesome.
Oh yeah, we have an orange wall.
It's the greatest.
It is. I didn't take any pictures of it. Or I would have it up here on the, as Allie says, on the Facebook.
Jane got to see the orange wall. She said the orange wall is a total game changer for
Is
the
it?
office. So,
And if you like these shirts,
yep.
we can go
We
ahead.
will autograph them
we will
for you for
we will autograph them.
$150 a piece.
No, we'll autograph them and send them out to you
Oh,
for 3 canned goods for the San Antonio Food Bank.
and it can't all be cream corn.
No, not at all. So anyway, this is this week's Car Chat Live. We will be back. What time? 7?
Well, we will be back during the week
Tell them about it.
because I don't. What am I talking about? Tech Talk with me
Tech Talk Tuesday with Tony.
on Tuesday,
That's right.
T3. And then when do you talk to people?
Thursdays.
You talk to people on Thursdays? I
Thursdays.
thought we did something on Wednesdays.
We don't do anything on Wednesdays.
We skip Wednesdays.
Skip Wednesdays.
I have Tuesdays, he has Thursdays, and then we're together on Sunday.
Yep. So if you have anything that you want, technical things that you want Tony to talk about, maybe research, gives you a little idea, a little insight. Again, shoot us that email at service@cmautocare.com. That'll go right to Tony. He can go ahead and get something prepared for you. Last week we did alignments and the importance of having an alignment done on your vehicle. Who knows? Be a surprise this Tuesday. Maybe we'll plan something out ahead of time.
I will. I'll plan something.
So that is going to be it today for
Enjoy the last picture of the beach, wherever it was.
wherever it was. It is going to go away. So again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. We will talk to you next week here on Car Chat Live.